Mr. Liveris.
Yes, Tassos.
It's a great honor to have you again
and
talk to us on The Greek Reporter.
Thank you.
Please tell us a few words about this initiative that, as we know, is your brainchild.
Well, you're being too kind. We met each other earlier this year. You remember how we met, and at that time I gave a speech and you interviewed me actually, and we talked a lot actually subsequently in Los Angeles, and so you understand the trajectory that has gotten us to this moment. What it is we have tapped a vein of the Greek diaspora who really want to be partners with the Greek people in a way that has never been done before. What has been done before has been, if you like, individuals trying to do things. We may have had a couple of organizations, but nothing has pulled together the global Greeks ever before. So here we are, launching the Hellenic Initiative today in Athens. It is global diaspora. We've had representatives from the UK, from Australia, from the United States. We have many who couldn't make it today because it was pulled together in short notice. Why? Because the President Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States, agreed to come here by himself with his own passion to be part of it. I'm very proud of that.
And can you please, sorry for interrupting, can you please tell us, since you went to the President, how did he react when probably you made the phone call and said, Mr. President, would you like to join us?
So the President and I have been talking about this for several years, even before we met. This is not a new thought. This has been a thought that I've had for 5 years, that others have had, but nothing's brought it together. Mr. Papandreou came over to talk to the American-based diaspora quite a few times. The moment was never quite good enough to pull together the right groups of people. This moment has arrived, to be frank, because the crisis has gotten acute, and you know that.
So because we reached the bottom, you think that's the right?
Yes, so let me put it this way, we need to make sure it is the bottom. We need to stop the decline. We need to provide mechanisms to reverse it. We need to find ways to get investment going here again. We need to help people who are in need. These multiple thoughts, the President, because he knew I was talking about it, contacted me and we had long conversations, and he made the statement, I'm in, I want to help. He cares about Greece, he cares about Greeks. He grew up with Greeks in Arkansas. He's got a lot of passion for the Greek people. And I think his presence here today, when we pulled it off, was a statement. Now, there's also 40 people, 50 people down there. I don't know if they're
Can you please tell us a few names, maybe of the prominent Greeks?
Well, we have to. I have to be circumspect, respect their confidentiality. The release says who the founders are. Yeah. That's all you need to know. And having two corporate executives like myself and Mr. Ken from Coca-Cola is very important. Having Mr. David from local community, a local representative of the local Greek community, and of course Mr. Stamas from the New York Greeks. You'll get more details as time goes by, but I will tell you many want to join. And
Mr. Ken is actually Turkish.
Yeah, it's interesting how, I've got Greek DNA, Mr. Ken's got Turkish DNA, but we're neighbors, aren't we? So we've shared a common history for hundreds of years. On my island of Castellorizo, I can see Turkey and Kash 3 kilometers away. The Turkish people come over, we do glenti together. We drink ouzo, we eat the food, we go over to Kash, we buy in their bazaars. I think the neighborhood of the community of Greece and Turkey, it's time we both realize that we're in it together. And it's time we both realize that we're a community. And yes, politicians will talk, but the people get on. And Mr. Kent is one of those. Available. Mr. Papandreou actually started it. I mean, look, before that I wasn't really very involved, but he knocked on the door of several of us in the US and said, let's get together, let's do this. I welcomed it, I came here, many of us were very involved. How do I answer your question? My sense of it is looking backwards. The crisis wasn't that acute at maybe that time. Maybe the fix coming from the Eurozone was enough. Maybe working on the debt, the financial side was enough. Whatever, it never took traction. And not because I don't think he wanted it, I think the priority became the debt. What's today's priority? Where are we today in today's Greece? We still have the debt issue.
Investment.
But we have a problem. If you keep going downwards, the cost cuts will never be enough. You can't do austerity alone, you know that. I mean, you've got sensible people and maybe some not sensible people telling you that. But long story short, whether you're Italy, whether you're Spain, whether you're Greece, whether you're Portugal, you can't just do debt reduction based on cost reductions. Because I know that running a business, okay? And so to restructure, you've got to have multiple facets to it. And one of them is, in fact, to find ways to grow. How do you do that? You create confidence. How do you create confidence? Okay, you put credible policies together. Government willing to do that? Yes. Can government do that working with business? Yes. What business? We're bringing the diaspora. Greece needs to recognize what other countries do is use the diaspora. Israelis do it, the Irish do it, the Chinese do it. We are the same. We just happen to be living somewhere else. Okay? This is not just a vacation spot. This is the motherland. We care. So use that. You've interviewed me on this before. How do we tap that? How do we tap that capability? Well, several of us have decided to partner to try and do it. I'm going to tell you, you may be interviewing me 2 years from now and ask me that same question. You tried in, what month are we? July of 2012, and it failed, okay? 2 years from now, that may be true, but we would have tried.
Right.
And 2 years from then, now, maybe we're doing a third attempt. Remember, if you're a country of 2,500 years of history, I told you this, 1 month is nothing, 1 year is nothing, 5 years is nothing, but you better give your people hope.
How optimistic are you after today's meeting?
Oh, I'm quite optimistic, but I'm a realist, and I'm also resilient. If you want to use that word, it means that I never live in pessimism. So it's an unfair answer to you, because if you had asked me how pessimistic you are, I'll say to you, I'm never pessimistic. So what does that mean? That means that when I do my day job, which is running this company, I see lots of ways to not do something. I see lots of issues. I see lots of people in need in very, very tough countries. I never see that as a threat. I grew up in the Asian philosophy, 25 years working in Asia. The Chinese word for threat and opportunity is the same. I have an attitude that even under threat you have opportunity. So I'm optimistic that, have you hit bottom? Don't know. Can we stop it going this further down? Yes. Can we create an activity and inertia and momentum around this? Yes. Did we get that today? Yes. But it's all talk until we get specifics. Okay? That's what we've got to do.
Can you please tell us a few about the technical details of today? What exactly happened in this conference? Because there's not really that much information. We know a bunch of very prominent people come together and the president joined them, but what exactly happened in there? What we're talking about?
Yeah, of course, you know me well enough that I'm not going to answer that, but I'm going to say that the old adage, you're brainstorming because you have many people with many ideas. After that, you prioritize and you put against criteria on philanthropy and investment. After you do that, you pick 2 or 3 that are quick wins, and you do those. We're in that whole process.
Did it cross your mind to maybe buy some Greek debt with this money? Would that help?
Let me put it this way, as I just answered. Every idea on the table is on the table, and that's not, excluded. I would tell you that it's not just, if it's just a financial fix, then I'm not doing this. Okay? This has to be an attitude and a culture and a psychology. We have to change the way Greeks think about themselves in a state that's been mostly public service and public sector.
And are you preparing also a plan for the Greek government, maybe something that will help them, because you know better the international business world?
I'd never say we know better. I would also tell you that after today, I am optimistic that the Greek government is thinking this way. Mr. Samara and his team are very clear of their mandate. It's a coalition. You were on the precipice for a while, potentially, not being part of the euro. I think now people are saying, well, they're going to stay, but how? So what you're hearing from the government and what you're hearing from us is the same thing, the how, and then to get together, the government has to be part of this. The government was very receptive to all the ideas we had today.
Yeah, that would be my next question. How did Mr. Samaras react to your visit?
Very receptive. I knew Mr. Samaras before he was elected, and I was hopeful that he and his team would be very receptive, exceeded my expectations.
Do you think that Greece can take more austerity at this point?
Let me put it this way. The answer to that question is if you're the ECB and the Troika, that's the only solution available because unless you don't have the currency solution, so you only have the cost solution. We all know that that is the only way they can actually operate. So that what do you have to do? You have to do something like this. I think the government realizes that. But if you're in a corner, very hard to come out. So someone has to give you a hand.
And one last question, do you think that this movement actually will bring also individuals and big companies, respected companies like yours, who maybe come to Greece and...
Look,
because that would be the greatest example. If Dow, for example, says, we're coming to Greece and we're investing, as Dow.
Look, I just want to give you one story, speaking, you asked me about my company, our company. 10 years ago, Turkey was nowhere. Today, Dow's investing $1 billion in Turkey. So, if you build it, they will come.
And that's a great statement. It's not only the money, it's a great statement.
There are some guarantees because I remember Mr. Katsimatidis complained.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. And so the Turkish government has figured out through their investment authority how to attract individuals and businesses. And look, these are very serious figures. Mr. Katsimatidis is a very serious figure. He and many people who've been burnt in the past have to be brought back.
Yeah.
But you can't do it to them too many more times. You know, so this is you will wear out the welcome matter.
Yes.
So, but there is a lot of people in this room downstairs, and me and others, many others, who are saying, let's work with Greece, let's work with them, and we're going to give it a shot.